If you're trying to make a new Discord server and you're completely lost with how to do it, this is the perfect video for you. Over the last few years, I made a few different Discord tutorials that have helped millions of people around the world be able to create their first Discord server. In today's video, I'm going to create an updated guide on how to set up the perfect Discord server. Now, 3 quick things before we start. The first one, I've actually gotten a lot of requests over the past few years to create a mobile guide for how to set up a server on mobile. So I'm happy to say for those of you guys that are wanting that is in the works, and that'll be coming out within the next few weeks, possibly the next month. So if you don't have access to a computer and you want to learn how to do this on mobile, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. Secondly, if you're the type of person who doesn't really want to do this yourself and you'd rather someone else do it, I actually have my own Fiverr gig that I'll have linked at the top of the description. If you guys want to check that out, I'll actually personally make your server for you myself. So if you want to reach out to me over there, you can happily do so with the link in the description. Lastly, I do want to ask, if this video helps you at all, then please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel so we can help spread this video to others. And if you happen to enjoy gaming content, you can check out my Twitch and my gaming YouTube links down in the description and follow me over there. Without further ado, let's learn how to make your first Discord server. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our server. So what we're going to do is you're going to look on this left sidebar, depending on how many servers you're already in. This might be towards the top if you're not in many. If you're in a lot, this might be towards the bottom. We're going to click add a server. Once you click that, it's going to give you a pop-up giving you the option to create your own from scratch, or you can start with a template like gaming, school, club, or study group. So I can give you guys the full in-depth experience. I'm gonna do create my own, and we're gonna start from scratch. After that, we can choose if we're gonna do it for a club or community, or for me and my friends. I'm gonna do for a club or community because we're gonna be designing this server based off of a group for your YouTube community, much like my own personal server is based on. So we're gonna click that. So for our server name, we're just going to do YouTube tutorial. And for the image, we're just gonna skip the image for now. We're gonna click create, and that's going to give us our brand new server. We're going to have 2 channels as of right now. We're gonna have a general text channel and a general voice channel. And that's how you create your server. So that's the end of the video, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm totally kidding. That's not the end of the video. So let's dive into this. So the way we're going to structure this video is, first, we're going to create all the channels that we want. Second, we're going to jump into all the roles we want. And lastly, we'll add in a few bots to the server and show you how to configure some basic features on bots. So what I like to do first is get all the channels laid out. So to create a new channel, all you do is come up here to your category, click the plus button on create channel, and then type in what you want. So first channel we're going to do is a welcome channel. We're also going to add in a rules channel so you can display the rules of your server. We're going to create another channel. We'll do a updates channel, and you'll notice whenever you go to create a channel in the pop-up, you're going to have the option to choose if it's a text channel or a voice channel. There's a couple of things different besides it just being one's a text, one's a voice channel. You'll notice if you create a text channel, you can't do any capital letters, even if you hold down shift or do caps lock. If you press the space bar, it's going to put a dash instead of actually putting a space. Now, voice channels are a little different. They let you actually use spaces without the dash, and you can also capitalize the name. So I can put a capital U there. A small quick thing I thought I'd notice in case you guys are wondering why you can capitalize on voice and not text. That's just the way it's set up. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and create all the channels that we're going to need. So if you guys want to pause the video here and set up your channels along with me, you can go ahead and do that. And then once we're done with the channels, we're going to organize them a little bit, and then we're going to jump into the roles. All right, so now we've got a brief list of channels laid out, as you can see on the left side of my screen here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to organize them a little bit into some categories. You'll notice you already have 2 that you started out with, text channels and voice channels. These are called categories. Think of it as a folder for you to put all your channels in. So the way we're going to create a new category is we're going to come over here to the left sidebar, and we're going to right click and then create category. You'll notice you can also create a channel this way if you want to. So we're going to create category. We're going to name the category. So the first one I'm going to do is a welcome category. And then we're also going to go ahead and create another category. This one I'm just going to name gesture. This is going to be where since this is a YouTube community based server, this is where I'm going to share all of my content. So my videos, my streams, whatever else I want to share. That's what that category is going to be for. Now, obviously, depending on what you're setting up your server for, your categories and channels will vary, but this is what I'm setting up for this one. So now I want to organize these channels into the proper category. So all you're going to do is hold down your left click, and you're going to drag it into the category you want. So we're going to take the welcome channel and put it in the welcome category, along with the rules, along with the updates, and also along with the giveaways. Now that we have the welcome category set up, we're also going to come up here and drag the videos into the gesture category, and we're going to drag the streams into the gesture category as well. And we're actually going to create one more category. This one is going to be the mods category, and I'll show you guys how to set up the permissions for this a little later in the video. For now, we're going to create the category, and we're going to drag the mods channel in here. This is basically going to be a channel for your moderators to chat privately where your regular members aren't able to see and access. And we're going to reorganize the structure of the categories a little bit. Now that you have your channels in the categories, you can drag everything at once. So we're going to take the welcome category and put it up at the top. We're going to take the voice category and drop it down here to the bottom. We'll have the text channels in the middle, and then my gesture for all my content right underneath that. Now, towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys how to add some cool flair to your channels like you see in the screenshots popping up now, but I want to get everything else handled first, and then we'll touch on that towards the end of the video. So now let's jump into the roles. The first thing we're going to do is come up here to the top left. We're going to click the drop down arrow, and we're going to go to our server settings. Now, you're going to see a lot of stuff in here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to touch on every single thing because that would be a 2-hour-long video. I have a lot of videos on my channel that cover pretty much everything related to Discord. So if you guys want to see some of this other stuff, check out some of my other content. You can probably find it in there. So like I said, roles. On the left side, you're going to see the roles tab right there. All you have to do is click on it. And for now, you're not going to have any roles. What we're going to do is go ahead and create a few. So we're going to click create role. After you click that, you're going to get a bunch of information displayed on your screen. What we're simply going to do is change the role name. We're going to name this one member. This is going to be a basic member role that we're going to give users when they join. Underneath your role name, you can set up a role color. So you can either choose between some of these preset colors, or you can come into custom color and really kind of fine tune exactly what color you want to be. So we'll just go with a nice, turquoise color there. We'll save the changes. And something you want to make sure you do on every role that you create is you want to check this box that says display role members separately from online members. When you check that, make sure you save changes. And just to show you guys what that's going to do, if you go back to the home page of your server, on the right side, you're going to see right now I'm just listed under online. Now, if I come in here and I give myself the member role that I just created, it's going to change the color of my name to the color of the role. And then also it's going to change me from just being under online to actually being under the member role. This is going to be a really helpful feature as you grow your server. If you look at my server, for example, it kind of organizes the hierarchy of your server and how everything's laid out. So at the top, we have me, the owner. Underneath that, we have the bots organized under their own role. Underneath that, we have my admins, my mods, my Twitch subs, so on and so forth. Just to show you what happens if you don't have that checked, if we come back into our roles here, we go to edit the role, we turn that setting off, we save changes, we come back. I'm still gonna have the color of the role, but I'm just gonna be listed under the online members again. So if that's something you want, if you just wanna have online members and you don't wanna have it organized like that, you can keep it off, but I never recommend that. I like to have it organized. So you want to make sure you check this box on all the roles that you create. So now we're just going to create a couple more roles. We're not going to do too many. We're going to do a moderator role. We're going to give that a purple color. We're going to display it separately, save our changes. And then lastly, we're going to create a admin role. If I could type that right. We'll give it a red color. We'll display it separately, save changes. And then after you save your changes, what you're going to want to do is drag your moderator role above your members and make sure your admin role is at the top. What this on your left is called is your role hierarchy. You want to put your most important roles towards the top and then your less important roles towards the bottom. Since member is just going to be a basic role for basic members, they're going to be towards the bottom and our more important roles are going to be at the top. So you can decipher who's important and who's not. Not to say that any of you guys aren't important, but you get what I'm trying to say. So now we've got some basic roles set up. If you want to create some more, go ahead and take some time to do so. I'm only going to create these 3 so it doesn't drag the video on. Now that we have the roles created, what we're going to do is jump into the permissions. So firstly, for our admin role, we're going to click on permissions and you're going to see there's a ton of different permissions that you can enable and disable. So for the admin role, the way I set this one up as far as the permissions go is I give my admins access to everything in the server. The only thing that they can't do is delete the server. So if you set yours up this way, please be sure that you only give this role to people that you absolutely trust because they, like I said, they can literally do everything that you can do as the owner besides delete the server. So if you want to set it up that way, instead of going through and just checking every single box, for the admin role, all you have to do do is scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll notice down here at the bottom, you have an advanced permission called administrator. If you read it, it'll say that members with this permission have every permission and will also bypass all channel specific permissions or restrictions. And it even warns you that this is a dangerous permission to grant. So like I said, if you do this, be sure you only give this role to people that you absolutely trust. But for this video, we're gonna go ahead and turn that on, and we're gonna save changes. So you don't have to worry about going through and setting up any more permissions for the admin role. Now we're gonna jump into the moderator role. The way I like to set up moderators is they wanna be more of a server upkeep role. So they can do things like delete messages, timeout users, but they're not gonna have full access over the server. That's why over in my server, the mods are named internet janitors, because that's basically what they are. They're cleaning up the server. So for this, we're actually gonna go through and specifically set permissions. So the first thing we're gonna check is manage nicknames. This is gonna allow your mods to change the nickname of other users in your server in case they set something really inappropriate. We're also gonna check kick members, ban members, and timeout members. We'll also let them manage messages. This allows them to delete messages or pin messages. And we'll also enable manage threads. I think that's all we need to do. I lied, there's a couple more. We're gonna let them mute members, deafen members, and move members. This is gonna let them, if there's someone being really toxic in a voice chat, this is gonna let them kind of shut that person up. They can mute the member in the voice chat to where they can't talk anymore. Now that we have all that set up, we're gonna save our changes, and that's all we're gonna do as far as the role permissions for now. Next up, we're gonna jump into our channel permissions, and there's actually a really cool way I'm gonna show you how to do this. It's actually gonna save you a good bit of time. So first, let's talk about the goal of these permissions and what we're trying to do with them. So let's look at our gesture category, for example. The goal of this category is for me to be able to share my videos and share my streams in an organized fashion without people coming in and cluttering it up with random chat messages. But we want people to still be able to see the content in the channels. Now, to edit permissions for a channel, there's two ways you can do it. You can do it individually by clicking the cogwheel right here, or right-clicking on the channel and going to edit channel, and then going into permissions. But an easier way to do it is if you have everything organized by category. So for example, I want the videos, I want everything in this category to be synced up the same to where people can't message in it, but they can only view it. You can actually right click on the category and go to edit category, and you'll notice you have a permissions tab there. So you can actually edit the permissions for that entire category. So every channel in that category will sync up with the permissions for that category. I don't think I've ever said category that many times in a matter of 20 seconds, but here we are. Anyways, so this is, if you want to do it individually, channel by channel, you can, but just know it's gonna take you a little bit of time, and doing it this way kind of future-proofs your server. So in the future, if I wanna add in 2 extra channels to the gesture category, I don't have to add in permissions for them. All I have to do is create the channel in that category, and it's gonna automatically have the permissions that I set up already. Now, obviously, if you wanna set up your channel permissions a little bit different based on what type of server you're making, you'll want to go through these and look at them and maybe choose what you want to do differently. But for me, I just want people to be able to see the channels, but not be able to post in them. So what we're going to do is click the green checkbox on view channels, and we're going to X the red X on send messages. And that's literally it. You click save changes, and just like that, you're absolutely done. And you'll notice if I come in here to, if I go to the individual channel and I click edit channel and I look at permissions, it will now have the permissions that I set up for that channel. And if I go into this one as well, they will both be the same way. And you'll notice at the top, it says permission synced with category gesture. So we're also gonna do the same thing up here to the welcome category, because we don't want people to be able to message these. This is for us to share important information as well. So we're gonna check the green and X the red on send messages. And since we don't have any special roles, since this isn't like a subscription-based server, like a locked server, you really don't even have to check the green box on view channels. I'm just doing it just to do it. You only have to do that if you're setting up a server like with a verification system or a subscription-based server or whatever the case may be. Now, again, just like in math class, you can go back and check your work. If we look at the welcome channel permissions, boom, just like that, synced with category. And obviously the other ones are gonna look just the same. Now, last thing for channel permissions for this server in particular, we wanna set up our moderator channel to where only our mods can see it. So we're again gonna right click on the category, go to edit category, permissions. We're going to make it where everyone cannot view the channels. And then we're gonna make it to where the moderators can view the channels. And we're just gonna click save changes. And just like that, you'll see up here at the top, who can access this channel? Only admins and moderators, and then myself since I'm the owner. And you'll notice now the mod channel has a tiny little lock symbol in the corner of it. That means that at everyone, which is basically anyone without a role, they cannot go and see that channel. Only a specific Only people with a specific role can be able to see that channel. In this case, the moderator role. So I think that's a really good overview of how to set up your permissions for channels and categories. Next up, what we're gonna do is actually go ahead and set this up as a community server, which is gonna give us access to a lot of new features. To do this, we're gonna go into our server settings at the top left, and you're gonna notice down here under the community tab, we have an enable community button. Now, like this says right here, if this server is just for you and a couple friends, you really don't have to worry about going in and setting this up. But for us, since I'm setting this up as a community server for my YouTube channel, I'm gonna want to set this up to get access to these extra features and even get access to server discovery and much more. So all we're gonna need to do is click get started. We're going to, you're gonna have to check all these boxes. You're gonna check that it requires a verified email to join the server, scan media content from all members. You click next. Now it's gonna ask you, what is your rules channel and what is your community updates channel? So the rules channel, we already have one set up. So we're gonna click rules. Community updates channel, this is where Discord will send relevant updates for community admins and moderators. So this needs to be your moderator or your admin channel. So we have one of those set up already. So we're gonna click the mods channel and we're gonna click next. And the last thing it's gonna tell you, and this is why I do recommend turning this on pretty much for everyone, it's gonna go ahead and disable the ability for anyone in the server to @ everyone and @ here, which basically sends out a ping to everyone in the server. It's also gonna set the default notification settings to mentions only, which means users aren't gonna get a notification for every single message, which could obviously be extremely annoying. They're only gonna get notifications if they're specifically mentioned. So all we're gonna do is click I agree and understand, and then we're gonna finish setup. And you're gonna notice right off the bat, you're gonna get about 5 new tabs of extra features that you're gonna get in your server. So just to go over a few of them, I'm not gonna touch on every single one of these, again, because of time constraints, but we're gonna go over a brief overview of everything. The first tab you're gonna have in our community is the overview tab, which is basically gonna show you kind of what we just set up. If you wanna change your rules or guidelines channels ever, your community updates channel, you can add in a brief description about your server. And you can even, it'll give you a little pop-up of things you can do now that you're a community server. For example, the welcome screen. So if we come down here to the welcome screen category, basically what this is it's a nice little pop-up that users will get upon joining your server, where you can kind of recommend them channels that you want them to check out first. So if we go ahead and set this up, we can pick a channel that we want users to be able to view right away. We can say rules, for example. What do people do in this channel? Be sure to check out the rules of this server. All right, we'll do it to read over the server rules. And we can also add an emoji. So for example, we can just do this pencil and paper. We can save, and then we can now go and add in some more channels. So we'll do a couple more just for example. We'll do our videos channel and say, check out my most recent videos. And for the emoji, we'll give it a little movie clip emoji. Yeah, this one works right there. Save. And we'll add in one more. We're gonna do the introductions channel, and we'll say introduce yourself to the community. And we'll pick another emoji. For example, for this one, we can just do the wave emoji. Save. You can also add in a brief description up here to say, be sure you subscribe to the channel. So now we can preview this, and this is what it's gonna look like when people join your server. Whenever they join, they're first gonna be immediately greeted with this nice little welcome screen where they can click any of these and go immediately to the channel, or they can click this to just get the pop-up to go away and freely browse whatever channels they want. So if you like how it looks, all you have to do is click enable, and now your welcome screen's set up. Now for being a community server, there are some other cool features you'll get access to, but you won't get them right away. For example, the discovery tab. Basically what this does is it puts your server on the server discovery page where users can kind of organically find your server, and you can try to grow your server organically through Discord. Now you'll see down here at the bottom, obviously as a brand new server, we're not gonna meet any of these requirements like 1,000 members, and the server needs to be at least 8 weeks old. And you also have access to the partner program, which again, you have to meet certain requirements for. And then lastly, you also have server insights, which is basically just gonna be a bunch of analytics about your server. Cool, so now we've got our server created, we've got our channel set up, we've got our roles set up, we've got our permissions set on our channels, and we've also got our server set up as a community server. And you're gonna notice also, after you set up your server as a community, you're gonna have this new events tab up here where you can publicly create events for your server members to be able to join in on. It's pretty self-explanatory on how to set these up. I'm not gonna go into it because that's not what this video is for. It's just to show you how to get your server set up. So there's a couple more things we're gonna do. We're gonna add in some cool flair to these channels like I told you guys about. And then lastly, we're gonna set up a few bots in the server just to get some basic bot features going to show you what that looks like. But before we get into all that, I wanna give a quick shout out to the amazing sponsor of today's video, WHOP. WHOP is a platform that allows internet entrepreneurs the ability to monetize their Discord communities. With WHOP, you're able to set up your own storefront where you can sell multiple different levels of access to any of your Discord servers. Your store will then be listed on their community marketplace where you can grow your server organically and users can leave reviews on their experience with you. Check out WHOP today via the link at the top of the description. And if you want to learn more, feel free to check out my full-length video going over everything with WHOP that I'll also have down below for you. Thank you again to WHOP, and now let's get back to the video. Okay, so like I mentioned, I want to show you guys how to add a little bit of flair to the server. So what we're going to do, if you guys don't want to do this, feel free to skip past. I'll have everything timestamped down below for you so you can easily skip through the video if you don't want to see this. But if you want to check this out, basically we're going to set your server up to look something like what I showed you on the screen earlier in the video and right now. We're going to add a little bit of flair and pop to it with some emojis and some symbols. So I'm going to have this website linked down in the description for you guys, where basically it's just a ton of different symbols that you can copy and paste and then directly put into your channel names. One of the most popular symbols you guys are going to see in servers is this vertical bar symbol. Basically, it allows you to be able to use an emoji and then give you a little bit of spacing before your channel name as well. It just looks really clean. I'm actually not going to be using the vertical line. The one I'm going to be using is this bullet point that I have from my server. And I'll also have this symbol linked down in the description if you guys want it, because I don't believe it's on this website anymore. So we're going to come back to our tutorial server. And what we're going to do, now that we have this symbol right here already copied and pasted, all we're going to do is we're going to go into each channel and we're going to edit the channel, and we're going to add in an emoji, and then we're going to add in the symbol, and it's going to look really clean. So if you guys don't know, if you're on a Windows keyboard or a Windows computer, you can hold down the Windows key and press the period key, and it'll pop up the emoji, an emoji keyboard for you. And all you have to do is type in an emoji you want. So let's just do the wave emoji for the welcome channel. So we now have the emoji in there, and then we're going to paste the symbol, and we're going to click save changes. And you're going to see that looks really, it adds a little bit of color to it. So it adds a little bit of pop, and then it's really clean having that symbol in there. Just to show you guys what this would look like without the symbol. If we just do, for rules, let's just do the paper emoji and then say, and then do a space and save. And then we can do one without the space. So updates, let's come in here and do the megaphone, and then click save. Obviously you guys can see right here, out of the three, which looks better, the one without the space, the one with the space, which is going to do that dash symbol that Discord does, or the one with the symbol that gives you cool natural spacing and doesn't have any dashes in it. I think all of us can agree that the first one is going to look the best. So that's all we're going to do, is we're going to go through all of our channels and just add in a little emoji and then add in that symbol to give it a really nice, clean, and professional look. I'm going to go ahead and go through and do that for all my channels. If you guys want to pause and do the same, and then we'll pick back up once I have all that done. All right, so now that that's done, we have all of our channels set up with emojis and the cool symbol, and I think it looks really clean and professional. So the last thing we want to do is we're going to, like I said, we're going to set up a bot in the server to give us some basic bot features and let you guys see what that looks like. Now in previous years, I've always recommended the Me6 bot because it's really easy to get into and it's the most popular bot on Discord, but I'm going to change it up for this tutorial, and I'm actually going to show you guys a different bot called Libertas. Now, I actually did a video about this bot a few months back, so if you guys watch my channel a lot, you might have already seen me cover this bot, but I think they offer a lot of what Me6 offers, and if you want to pay for the premium, they don't charge an arm and a leg for the premium. And you guys are actually going to see there's a really cool way you guys can get free premium with a referral code that I'm going to give you guys that you can put in if you use this bot. So I'll have the link down in the description, but the website is libertas.gg. All you're going to do is go there, and it's probably going to ask you to sign in with Discord at first. I'm already signed in, so I don't have to worry about that. After you sign in, you'll get brought to the select a server screen where you can find and select your server that you want to use. You guys might not see as many servers as I do because I'm an admin in a lot of servers, but we're going to find the server that I'm setting up the YouTube tutorial, and we're going to add Libertas to the server. You're going to get greeted with this pop-up, and basically the server, it's going to let you change the server if you want, but it should already be inputted down there. Click continue. We're gonna give it access to all these features, and we're gonna click authorize. You're gonna have to verify that you're a human. And then after you do that, what's really cool about this bot, like I mentioned, is they have a affiliate referral program where you can basically input a code if your friend referred you, and you can get 15 days of premium for free in your server. If you guys want to do this, then simply click yes, and I will have, you can copy and paste the number. I'll also have this number down in the description. Now I do want to mention I'm not getting paid for this at all. This isn't a paid promotion or anything. This is just a way to give you guys free premium in your server. So if you want to take advantage of that, you can copy and paste this down from down in the description. Click submit, and after you do that, you're immediately going to be taken into the bot dashboard where you can configure all of the settings. Now, with how long this video is already getting, I'm not going to cover every one of these features. If you guys want to see every one of these features in action, I'll have the video I did with this bot down in the description for you guys to look at an in-depth review of it. But for now, I'm just going to get you guys quickly set up with a couple things. So for example, the embeds, this is a really helpful thing for you to display your rules in a really clean and professional way. So if we come into the embed feature, what we're going to do is we're going to add a new embed. We're going to choose the channel that we want to add it in. In this case, we're going to set up an embedded message for our rules. If you guys want to copy and paste these rules, it's just a basic rule set. You guys are welcome to do so. You can even join my server. And if you guys just want to copy and paste my rules, you're more than welcome to do so. So we're going to give a name to this embed. This is just going to be our rules. And we're going to make sure we click check the embed box. And now we're going to be able to actually set up the embed. So what we're going to do is the title field, we're going to set up server rules, and then we can add in our actual text. So I already copied the rules, so I'm just going to paste these in right here, and you'll get a live preview over here on the right of what it's going to look like. You can change the color of the embed if you want. So we'll do a nice little green color. And then something that's really cool about this bot is you can actually add in hyperlinked buttons to your embedded message. So for example, what we could do with this is we can add in our social media links. So if we click add new button, we can name the button YouTube, and we can type in a URL. We can basically just type in my YouTube URL, youtube.com/gesture. And then we can also add in, and since I'm showing a stream channel in my server, we can add in my Twitch channel, twitch.tv, if I could type, /gesture. So now we'll have two hyperlink buttons. If we click confirm, this will then save our embed right there. And if we go look in our server in the rules channel, we'll notice that the bot has now sent the message into this channel, and it has two hyperlink buttons at the bottom that if we click, it'll say this will take you to youtube.com/gesture. And just like that, it takes us immediately to my channel. So I think that's a really cool way for you to be able to link up some of your social media accounts or whatever you might want to link up to an embed message. It's really cool. So that's how you set up the embedded messages with Libertas. And there's a lot of other stuff they offer. So make sure you take your time, look through all of these. Like if you want to set up button roles, which are also known as reaction roles, you can set those up there. You can create custom commands. You can set up a verification system. Any of this stuff you can do. And like I said, if you guys want to learn how to do any of this, I'll try to link as much as I can down in the description so you guys can easily go down there, look at what you need. For example, if you want to know how to set up button roles, I'll link a video for that. If you want to set up this, I have videos on all this stuff, so I'll do my best to link that up for you. But the last thing we're going to do is we're going to set up some auto moderation with Discord's new auto mod feature. So if we come into our server and we come to the top left and go to our server settings, you will find over here on the left side, you have under the moderation tab, you have the auto mod feature. Basically, we can set this up to block spam content, commonly flagged words, or we can set up custom words. So what we're going to do is block mention spam is automatically going to be set up because I believe we set up as a community server, but we want to commonly flagged words. So if we click setup, we can, if you want to block out severe profanity, you can do that, insults and slurs, or sexual content, you can block out all of this stuff. And then under that, you can choose a response, which is going to allow you to, do you want to block the message, or do you want to block the message and send an alert of the message that was blocked? After you set it up to your liking, you click save changes, and then you'll now notice you have a check mark on the commonly flagged words. And if you want to set up the other ones like the spam content, we can also set that up. If the message is suspected of being spam, you can just click save changes after you set it up how you like. And it's really cool. And this is actually a really nice feature. Usually you had to use a bot to have some type of auto mod protection, but now Discord has actually introduced it themselves, which is really cool. And I think that's the end of the video. Hopefully, I don't know how long this is gonna come out. I think the total recording time is like 45 minutes. So I really hope it doesn't come out to being 45 minutes. There's a lot of dead air that I can trim out, like when I was setting up my channels and stuff or whatever. But that's the video. That's how to set up a Discord server in 2023. Hopefully I did a good job. I feel like I may have rushed through a few parts. I just wanted to make sure I covered everything without dragging on the video to an hour long. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Or if you want to join my server, in my server, I actually have a channel dedicated to helping people with Discord. So feel free to jump in my server. The link is in the description. And you can ask me any questions that you want. I usually check this channel at least 2 or 3 times a day. You guys are welcome to come ask me anything and everything. And if you have a more complex server that you want set up, something that you're not sure you're able to do yourself, again, you can check out my Fiverr store and I'd be more than happy to help you set up whatever you're trying to set up. Thank you guys so much for taking the time for watching this video, and hopefully it helped you set up your first Discord server. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.